Hello everyone and welcome back to Nancy Drew Legend of the Crystal Skull. So, I believe we need to just look around in the graveyard some more? I think so. We haven't talked to Renee lately.
Hello again.
Have you ever seen this before? I found it by that scale model of the cemetery that's inside the house.
It's a mystery to me. I suggest you ask Henry. He leaves things lying around all the time. I guess it figures I won't notice amid all the other clutter. But I do. I notice everything. How else may I be of service to you?
Did Dr. Bolet ever say anything to you about a crystal skull? He may have referred to it as the Whisperer.
No, he never so much as mentioned a crystal skull, whispering or otherwise.
What can you tell me about the painting that's missing from the frame in the gallery?
Very little, I'm afraid. I didn't notice the picture was gone until after the reception following Dr. Bolet's funeral. I cannot even tell you what it was a picture of.
Were you in the house when Dr. Bolet passed away?
I was indeed. I was in the library cleaning when all of a sudden I heard a big thump. I hurried out to investigate, and sure enough, there was Dr. Bolet lying by the front door. And as I rushed over to him, the door opened and in walked Gilbert Buford. He took one look at Dr. Bolet and hollered at me to call 911. So I ran back into the library and did just that. When I came back out, Gilbert was leaning over Dr. Bolet, listening for breathing, I suppose. And then he started pushing up and down on his chest. But it was too late. Even I could tell that Dr. Bolet was gone.
Oh yeah, I need to be considering that this could be a murder, actually. Because it seems like all the previous owners of the Whisperer were murdered for the skull. So that's something I need to think about.
What was he doing by the front door?
I assume he saw Gilbert coming and was going to open the door for him. Not that there was any need. As you yourself discovered, people around here seldom lock their front doors during the day. But you know, in the back of my mind, I have always wondered about Gilbert Buford showing up at the door at that exact moment.
I understand that Dr. Bolet had some interesting pets, like an iguana.
That man never met a creature he didn't like. He'd train them to do all kinds of silly tricks, then let them run free, inside the house as well as out.
Did he ever teach you how to make them do their tricks?
I never cared to learn. Don't get me wrong. I liked Dr. Bolet, I truly did. But I swear, sometimes his activities made as much sense to me as bathing in a bayou full of gators.
Whose boat is tied up down there where the bayou comes up to the cemetery? Do you know?
That would be my boat. Comes in very handy when I need to forage for certain swamp-dwelling plants.
I get the feeling we will need to borrow her boat at some point.
I'd better get going.
Fare thee well.
Also, I just remembered we need to switch over to Bess and talk to who I believe may be the doctor.
Hello?
Hi, Bess, it's me.
So what's been happening? Tell me everything.
Well, let's see. Since the last time we talked, I was just about getting ready.
Interesting stuff.
But the reason I called is, I need you to talk to this doctor named Gilbert Buford, who, as it turns out, likes to hang out at a gumbo stand called Granny Pumpkin's Cajun Cookin', which should be right across from our hotel.
You just want me to talk to him? That's it? Nothing nefarious? No black ops stuff?
He was Bruno Bolet's doctor, and apparently his best friend, too. I just need for you to see if he thinks there was anything weird about the way Bruno died.
What do you mean by weird?
I mean, I kind of think maybe Bruno was murdered.
Murdered? By whom?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Everyone's a suspect at this point.
Including this Gilbert Buford guy?
Well,
Great, I'm gonna be chatting up Jack the Ripper.
oh, I'm sure the guy's fine, but be subtle, just in case.
Well, I can see the gumbo stand from our balcony. If he's the guy that's sitting down there, I guess he looks harmless. Okay, I'll go talk to him.
Thanks, Bess. Let me know what happens.
Cheerio!
Nice. Also, I should have done this beforehand, but I wanted to turn up the voices
That was a little creepy.
Yeah, I wanted to turn up the voices just a bit. There we go.
Why, hello, young lady. How kind of you to grace an old man with your lovely presence.
Are you Dr. Gilbert Buford?
I'm delighted to report that I am indeed.
Do you mind if I join you?
Of course not. A little lively discourse would brighten this gloomy evening considerably. This here is my favorite spot in the whole city. Delicious gumbo, pleasing view, particularly now, I might add.
My name's Bess Marvin. I'd like to ask you some questions about Bruno Bolet, if that's okay?
I'd prefer subject matter of a happier nature, but I do not want to seem inhospitable, so what is it you want to know?
Well, he seems pretty friendly. I hope he stays that way.
Is it true that Dr. Bolet was your best friend?
Well, now, I was certainly his best friend, but I cannot honestly say that he was mine. Fact is, while socializing with my fellow man, particularly with pretty young women such as yourself, has always been a source of pleasure for me, Bruno was just the opposite. Unfortunately, the older he got, the more numerous his idiosyncrasies became, and the less concerned about their negative effect upon others he became.
His idiosyncrasies didn't bother you?
Now, as a doctor of medicine, I am not only accustomed to dealing with the abnormal, but I find that I'm actually drawn to it. I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed Bruno's outlandish personality, although at the same time I fear it may have played a role in his demise. You see, he died of a myocardial infarction, most likely caused by age-related atherosclerosis. Dying of a heart attack is all too common for people who are socially isolated, and Bruno Bolet had most certainly become that.
Interesting.
Did they do an autopsy on Dr. Bolet?
No. Given Bruno's advanced age and the absence of any indication of foul play, an autopsy was deemed unnecessary, and the body was cremated according to Bruno's wishes.
So what you're saying is there weren't any gaping stab wounds on him. Fair enough.
Did Dr. Bolet ever say anything to you about owning a crystal skull?
Why, yes. Yes, he did. In fact, he showed it to me once. Said it had magical powers. Said owning it was going to allow him to live forever. I thought it was utter nonsense and told him so. Well, he didn't appreciate that at all. Refused to talk to me for a full 2 weeks.
What'd the skull look like?
It was quite beautiful, actually. Life-size, perfect in form and clarity, like a diamond almost. Tell me, Miss Bess, what do you know about that crystal skull?
This friend of mine, who is also a friend of Henry Bolet, Dr. Bolet's great-nephew. Anyway, while she was visiting Henry, she saw this book in Bruno's library about the legendary crystal skulls and was kind of intrigued and thought that since Henry said that you were pretty much Bruno's only friend, maybe Bruno had said something to you about it, and as it turns out, he had. That's all I know.
I see. Well, much as I'd like to believe that skull holds the key to immortality, I'm afraid Bruno's passing proves it's worthless. Although it would make an attractive paperweight, as I recall. Tell your friend not to give it another thought.
I get the feeling he's more interested in the crystal skull than he's letting on.
Dr. Bolet's housekeeper says you just happened to walk in just as he was having his heart attack. Is that true?
Indeed it is. I hadn't seen him for a while, so I picked that day to pay him a visit. I walked up to the front door, found it unlocked as usual, opened it, and there he was, lying on the floor in obvious distress. The next thing I know, his housekeeper came running in and started shrieking and carrying on, until finally I sent her out of the room so she could summon an ambulance, and I could once again hear myself think. Well, let's see. Then I knelt down and saw that he wasn't breathing. So I pulled him away from the doorway so I'd have more room to work on him and began chest compressions. I continued until the medics arrived, but nothing they did made a difference either.
Huh.
Was Dr. Bolet unconscious the whole time?
Yes, he was.
Can you remember anything that might indicate what he was doing by the front door? I mean, had he just come in from a walk? Was he wearing a hat? Was he holding anything? Had he dropped something? An umbrella? Sunglasses?
Wait a minute. Why, yes. Yes, he was holding something. A piece of paper. And on the floor next to him was an envelope. He must have collapsed while reading a letter.
Okay, I've been thinking this for a few minutes, but I've been watching his face while Bess talks, and he's been having some interesting reactions. Like, I like how they're animating his face even when he's not the one talking. I don't know if that's, like, an actual clue or not, but it's cool. I like it.
Do you know what happened to it?
Now, I know the letter was no longer in Bruno's hand when the paramedics arrived, so perhaps he released the letter when I moved him. And yet, I do not recall seeing it on the floor when they wheeled him out the door. Iggy.
What's icky?
Iggy. Iggy is an iguana Bruno befriended, then turned loose in his home. It soon developed the annoying habit of stealing paper and stockpiling it in the vent system.
Well, that's not very good for the vents.
Did you see Iggy while you were tending to Bruno that day?
No, but then I rarely ever saw Iggy. Moreover, it would not have been the first time a missing document ended up in Iggy's possession. Renee would periodically call me saying the lizard had absconded with one of Bruno's prescriptions and would I please write her up a replacement. In any case, Bruno once told me he was training Iggy. Said he taught Iggy to retrieve the things it had stolen.
So we've got to figure out the command to get Iggy to retrieve the things, I guess. Yeah, I was wondering about this too. Like, were the prescriptions actually stolen, or was Renee just, like, hoarding the drugs?
Do you think it's possible that Renee caused Dr. Bolet's death by, say, hoarding the pills from those missing prescriptions and giving them to him all at once?
No. Had he died of an overdose of the medications I had prescribed, the manner of his death would have been quite different. But he died of a heart attack. Of that I am certain. However, I know for a fact that Renee is deeply involved in the practice of hoodoo. And as Bruno's housekeeper, she had ample opportunity to use it against my poor old friend.
I don't think that's what killed him, though I'm not ruling out Renee as a suspect. I'm still thinking the drugs might have had something to do with it.
You mean hoodoo really works?
Young lady, never, ever underestimate the power of suggestion. If a person believes in something, even on a subconscious level, fantasy can easily become fact. And who knows what rubbish Renee filled Bruno's mind with? Drink this, don't eat that. This brings good luck, that brings bad, day in and day out. Even if he said he didn't believe a word of it, who knows how much his subconscious was absorbing? He was very old and vulnerable. So could Renee have caused Bruno to have that fatal heart attack? There's not a doubt in my mind she could indeed.
I mean, that's also true as well. Placebo effects and mind over matter do have an effect on the health.
Guess I'll be running along.
Good night.
Very interesting. Let's get some food while we're here, why not?
Can I help you?
Let's get the seafood gumbo.
A bowl of gumbo, please.
Dive in.
More hot sauce.
Talk about spicy.
I'm satisfied. Okay, let's call Nancy and tell her what we learned. Actually, can we go talk to Lamont? How's he doing? Is he okay?
Sneeze, lady. What's going on?
That gumbo stand outside? What do you think? Is it pretty authentic?
Outstanding! Just watch the hot sauce. Whatever's in it gives my stomach instant fits.
Oh, I know the feeling, friend. It doesn't stop me, though.
In all your journeys through the wonderful world of junk, have you ever come across one of those legendary crystal skulls?
What makes you ask that?
You have so many other oddities in here, I was just wondering.
No. I know the legend, of course, and I sure wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those babies. I mean, I could sell it for a fortune. But no such luck. Funny. I've been thinking about those skulls lately. A lot.
Really? Hey, maybe we got some kind of psychic thing going here. Quick, think of a number between 1 and 10 and I'll try to guess it. You thinking of a number? Okay, 4.
9.
Darn. Guess it was just a coincidence.
Guess so.
Huh. So he's interested in the skulls, too. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in this game is interested in the skulls in some way. It's just a matter of how far are they willing to go to get one.
There's a man sitting at the gumbo stand outside named Gilbert Buford. Do you know him?
We're not close personal friends or anything, but I certainly know of him. Comes from one of the wealthiest and most prominent families in New Orleans. And on top of all that, he's a doctor. Guy's gotta be rolling in dough. Must be nice, huh?
Must be nice.
I'm gonna keep browsing if that's okay.
Enjoy!
Alright. Well, see you later, Lamont. Okay, now we're gonna call Nancy back.
Hello?
Hi, Nance. Okay, here's what's been happening at my end.
And that's pretty much it.
Good work. I'll take it from here. Thanks again.
Good luck. Bye.
Also, why did we not bring George on our vacation? Why did we leave her out? That's not fair.
Can't check that off yet. All done. Did that.
Ah, find the letter. How can we get...
Hello again.
Nice talking to you.
Thanks for coming by.
We need to figure out how to get Iggy to perform their tricks. I doubt Henry will tell us.
Yes?
I'm going to keep looking around.
Sounds good.
Okay. Pretty sure Iggy has the letter. We also need to find something written by Bruno that can tell us something. I'm forgetting what exactly, but we need it for a puzzle. Just looking around for anything I might have missed. This is a sad and empty room. What do you want to bet there's secrets in that room? Why else would it be locked? Let's see what Ned can tell us. I might need a hint.
Hey, Nancy. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Meaning...
Right after Henry's great-uncle Bruno died, someone stole one of the paintings from his gallery. Just took the canvas and left the frame.
anything else missing from the house?
I don't think so. At least no one has said anything. Of course, the only people here are Henry and Bruno's housekeeper, Renee. And this house is so full of stuff. Even if something else was missing, it would be ages until anyone noticed.
You think the missing painting ties in with your skeleton man somehow?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea how it ties in, but my gut feeling is there's some kind of relationship between the two.
Well, if there is, I'm sure you'll find it.
Are you familiar with the legend of the so-called crystal skulls?
Is that where aliens supposedly scattered a bunch of perfectly formed crystal skulls all around the world like thousands of years ago? And all the skulls have different magical powers?
Something like that, yeah. Apparently, Henry's uncle was the proud owner of the Whisperer, the skull that was supposed to make whoever owned it live forever.
Only now he's dead and another superstition bites the dust.
Maybe, maybe not. See, this book I found in Bruno's library said no one who has owned the Whisperer has ever died of natural causes.
So how did they die?
They were all murdered.
Come on, you don't believe that crystal skull stuff is true, do you?
I'm not sure what I believe yet. But right now, what I think doesn't matter. The people who knew Bruno had the skull, if one of them believed in the Whisperer's power, they may have figured the only way they'd ever be rid of Bruno was to cause his death.
But didn't he die of a stroke or something?
Heart attack.
Well, there you go. Natural causes.
Heart attacks can be induced.
You've been watching too many of those forensic detective shows.
That may be, but what's really interesting is the skull is missing.
That is interesting.
And I'll bet you anything that's what my bony friend in the red ascot was looking for.
Does Henry know where the skull is?
I haven't gotten around to asking him about it yet. But if that skull is still around here, I intend to find it.
I kind of figured that.
I gotta admit, before I started playing this game, I didn't realize the crystal skulls were an actual legend. Like, the only other thing I'd heard about them was that one Indiana Jones movie, which I've never watched. I've never seen any Indiana Jones movies.
Bruno Bolet's doctor, Gilbert Buford, was apparently Bruno's best friend as well.
Think Bruno told him about the skull?
Yes, in fact, Dr. Buford told Bess that Bruno showed it to him once. But apparently he told Bruno the skull was bogus, and Bruno got a little ticked off. Never showed it to him again.
Well, when it comes to murdering someone and making it look like a heart attack, a doctor's got to be right up there when it comes to suspects.
Don't worry, I've been thinking the same thing.
So what else is going on?
Hint, please.
How about a hint?
What do you need?
Okay, we already asked this one, so...
One of the crypts in that scale model cemetery is locked. How do I go about opening it?
You need to find its life-size counterpart in the real cemetery next door. When you do, take a look at the carvings on it. There's more to them than meets the eye, but you can easily rub out that little problem with some paper and a piece of charcoal.
Paper and charcoal?
In fact, that tracing you found, Skeleton Man or whoever left it there, already did some of the work for you.
Okay, that's actually very helpful, thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks.
You need anything else? Just call.
Got it, thanks Ned. You're very, very useful. Okay, it was this one, right? Yeah, so this is over... Well, where are we starting? Oh, I wasn't trying to do that, I was just trying to scroll. So we got the big fountain. Nope, no, I'm not trying to click on that. Got the fountain, then we go up to this tree. And then we go north, up from there. Yeah. So whenever I find the Whomping Willow... I would like to exit, please, thank you. So just keep going straight at the tree. Got it. That's not what I was trying to go. Ah! I have to learn how to walk in a straight line first, which is harder than it sounds. Okay, this should be the right place.
To figure out if there's anything camouflaged in that design, I'm gonna need some paper.
Can we just use the same paper? Well, where do we get paper? I guess we could just ask. Alright, let's go ask people if we can borrow some paper. There's probably some paper on Henry's desk. If we're really nice, he might give us some.
Hello again.
Do you by any chance have some plain paper that I could use?
I most certainly do.
Oh, thank you.
But it's up in my room, and I'm afraid I cannot retrieve it for you until I'm finished here. You get the sudden urge to draw a picture?
Yes, do some nice landscape painting in the graveyard.
Something like that. I know, I'll help you. That way you'll get done faster.
Gracious, you are the picture of impatience, aren't you? Well, I appreciate the offer. But here, why don't you just take this instead? It's an extra key to my room. The paper's in a drawer in my nightstand. I have to keep it hidden on account of that paper-thieving iguana. Just go on up and help yourself. But make sure you lock the door when you leave, you hear? You I trust. But Henry, him I do not.
I really appreciate this.
I do not feel worthy of your trust, but I appreciate it.
And long as you're going up there, my appetite could use a little placating, so I would be much obliged if you would bring me a candy bar from my nightstand. And take one for yourself while you're at it.
And she is super nice. That makes me suspicious. Why are you nice to me? We barely know you. I like you, though. Renee might be my favorite character so far. Now, I'm gonna take this opportunity to snoop through all her private junk. Why do we have the suspenseful music now? Ooh, this is spooky. Hello. I like your cool symbols. Oh, cool! How do I, unpush the buttons? Okay, interesting. Ah, there we go. No, that's not right. Hold on, I need to write these down. Give me just a minute. I think what I need to do is I need to match up these symbols so they correspond with these four little tile thingies here. Alright, I think I have it. So this one goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 13, 12, 13, and 14. Yep. So this one should be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And finally this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yay! Hoodoo signs and symbols. Okay, I'm definitely not reading all this out loud. Just information about the spells and the incantations and stuff. Spectriloquy. Alright. So it's just like the alphabet for Hoodoo. I'm sure we'll be needing this at some point. but I don't know what to do with it right now. Is that the only thing in there? I guess so. Does that stay unlocked, by the way? Okay, it does. Yay. Thank you. Oh, hello. That's, suspicious. Convenient lightning strike. Wait, is this for the book we just picked up? I'll look at that in a minute. She's got a bunch of, like, spell ingredients. That's pretty cool. Hiccup powder. So she... Deep breaths, Nancy. So she probably shops at Zeke's. Ah, paper, thank you. Where are the candy bars, though? You can't just tell me to grab candy bars and then not have any. Oh, you... Wait, are these the cow one?
One for Renee,
Yep, Coco Kringle.
and one for me. Yum. Gosh, these things are good.
If they're anything like Nestle Crunch bars, then yeah, they are good.
Yum. Mm.
Can I get a game over if I just eat all of them?
Yum. Mm.
Okay, I had a couple. Nancy just gained like 2 pounds. Was that there before? I did not... Was that the sound of the rocking chair? I don't do creepy dolls, okay? No. No, 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 no. Can we not? Can we just open the window and chuck this outside and forget it ever existed? I don't want to turn my back on it. I don't trust it. Okay, well, let me write down these symbols, I guess. Alright. Let me go check the book to see if we can figure out what that means. Okay, first one is ba. And then we've got za. Then lu. The next one is not listed here, I don't think. So I don't know what that means. But the one after that is, I think, D. Then we've got mu. And ka. Oh, maybe the one I missed was pa. It just did not look like the right shape. So ba, za, lu, pa, di, mu, ka. Yeah, that did not look like a triangle to me. It looked like more of a loopy shape. Okay. Well, let's go give the candy bar to Renee and then go trace those carvings on the crypt, mausoleum, whatever it's called.
You bring me that cocoa kringle bar like I asked?
Right here.
Bless you. I'm so hungry I could devour these plants I'm potting up, dirt and all. How else may I be of service to you?
I really relate to Renee, though, because I also have a stash of snacks down in my cabinet next to my bed, so... yeah.
Those weird symbols on the wall in your room, do you know who painted them?
I did. Fact of the matter is, there's a spirit living in that wall.
A spirit?
Got a voice that'd send shivers down the spine of Dracula himself. Used to hear it sometimes, in the dead of night, half talking, half whispering, saying this one word I never heard before, like it was from a language no one on earth spoke. And suddenly, I knew. The spirit was trying to cast a spell on me. So I got me a book and found out that by painting the word I heard on the wall, syllable by syllable, in hoodoo signs, I could counteract the word's power. And you know what? The spirit has not spoken that word or any other since.
What was the word?
Darling, a sack full of water moccasins couldn't get me to say that word out loud. Nor will I write it down. No, sir. Not ever, ever, ever.
Alright, well, I think I figured it out on my own, so that's fine.
I'll leave you to your potting.
Thanks for coming by.
You're welcome. Alright. Big points to whoever decided to engrave the image of a coffin on a mausoleum. A coffin and bones, and a crow, and a worm. Like, just very to the point. Alright, we should be able to open up that little crypt thingy on the model. Alright, this one is the bird, I know that much. Now the worm is the one with the little diamond shapes, okay? That is this one. And then the little flowers are the bones. Which means this one is the coffin. There we go. Got a key. Ooh, that probably leads inside the crypt, doesn't it? Well, I want to stop the video soon, but I also want to see if this key works on the crypt. So I'm going to try it out, but I'm not going to enter it yet. Oh. Well, we're just not going to comment on that? Okay. Does it not work here? Or is that not the right key? Oh, it's this one. Ooh. Alright. Well, I'm going to stop here then. We'll explore this crypt next time. So, we talked to the doctor.
All done. Check. Did that. Did that. Check. Did that. Can't check that off yet. Did that.
The doctor seems a little bit suspicious, and Lamont seems a little bit suspicious, and Renee seems a little bit suspicious. Henry is maybe suspicious? I don't know. There's a thing over here, but I'm not gonna grab it yet. But it seems like everybody's pretty interested in these crystal skulls, and that somebody may have murdered Bruno? Who knows? But either way, thanks for watching, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!